Time now for the Educated Retirement Show with your host, Jay Kaplan. Jay discusses reverse mortgages and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now, here's Jay.
Just get that going. Anyway, there it is. There I is, Dr. Heckham, DRHECM.com. And see, am I getting it up high enough? Well, whatever. I'm trying. We got that 10-second delay so that I don't say bad things. So, I can't really tell whether it's up or not, but there. We'll let that work for now. So that's my shingle, and this is the pen in which I'm going to write you a prescription to get some information on reverse mortgages, Heckhams, and actually everything else that applies to your house and your household. And, we've talked about that household board of directors. So welcome to the Educated Retirement Radio here on KMET, where we contemplate retirement and how best to prepare for retirement and how to best stay happily retired. Today, we have a really good guest on. Tom Markle will be joining us. And he had retired a while back, and he's back working again just to stay busy and to help create, and that helps create a healthier life for all of us. So what's up for the show today? Well, we're going to see how Jeff Bezos started out as an encyclopedia salesman and realized that Elon Musk is reincarnated from the first taxi company's owner. So hang on, I'm not retired. So that's why I need a lot of guests, but I need a lot of your input. And boy, I've got somebody calling me right now. I better say no, but I could have taken it for the radio. Anyway, we need you to give me a call at 866-955-2233. Yeah, I can help with that too. And there we go. 866-955-2233. Call right now, and I won't answer because I'm on the radio. But anytime, keep that phone number handy. Talk to me. Get connected with any of our guests, etc. So I'm going to kind of just slip right into, because you already know that here's other people are calling me. Boy, I'll tell you. I should tell them to call on air, shouldn't I? So knowledge is power. So you call, I'll always respect your information, or just email me, bestloantoday@gmail.com. And of course, you want me to have a day job because you think I need to, something that actually pays other than being on the radio. And the loan source, I am a loan officer, NMLS 384565. I think I said that discorrectly before. And my Department of Real Estate number is 972-630. So, come you call, jump on the website, drheckham.com, or if you're a more formal type, theeducatedretirement.com. Go about halfway down there and jump on the YouTube channel. So today is, let me go grab this because this is cool. Today is Bartender Appreciation Day. Now this thing I think actually works, but there's no batteries in it. I don't have that size battery. I guess I should have just played him and shaken something for us all, but that's cool. Now we're going to talk about a couple of famous bartenders. Ruben has been with us before. We spoke with him when we were having lunch at Musso and Frank with who, Kathleen? Citizen Kane. What's his name? Can't forget. Orson Welles. You know me. remember everything. I have a memory like a steel door closed. Ruben, Rueda, was 52 years at Musso and Frank, and he had the reputation of serving the best martini in town. And I did have a few of those, but he's gone now, so we can't have any more. Want to bring to your attention a Claire Cadorette, Cadarette. So I'm not sure how she pronounces her name, but she's been bartending continuously 79 years. That's even older than I am. At a place called Maplewood Tavern in Alpena, Michigan. So there's still hope for some of us old people. We can find a job. So last reported, which was last year, 2018, she was still pouring at age 99. And like I said, that was only a year ago. Now I used to be a bartender at several places, a place in Beverly Hills, several places in Orange County, Houlihan's, where I met my wife, who was a waitress, and I've been drunk ever since, I guess. And that was in mid-1970s. Here's my apron from Houlihan's, just to prove. See, how do I look? What do you think? Yeah? Okay. I thought you'd appreciate that. So, again, jump over to that YouTube station and pick it up. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break because we want to get through this first part and get Tom with us. So I'm going to give you a break long enough to mix and drink a martini. Wow, I hate to talk with that music going on. Who is that, Sean?
That's Brian Setzer, all orchestra, all show.
Yeah, once in a while I call you Shane because my son's name is Shane, but he's not 200 and anyway, he's not what we talked about. He's a little smaller. But you know whose birthday it is today? It's Agnes Moorhead. So Agnes Moorhead's birthday today. And she was born in 1900. And she earned her wings and flew away in 1974. And she was a part of Orson Welles' Mercury Players, or the Mercury Theater as we know it. Oh, where's that thing, Kathleen, I was going to show? With all the tapes. Oh, well, whatever. Oh, it is in there? Okay. No, it's not. But that's okay. Orson Welles, of course, had the Mercury Playhouse, and which was a radio thing that he did weekly, I guess, out of New York. And then when Citizen Kane, that was the same one that did War of the Worlds, which you remember, right, Sean? How old were you?
Oh,
no?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I remember that one like yesterday.
Yeah. So the Mercury Players moved en masse from the East Coast to the West Coast for Citizen Kane, still considered by many the best film ever made. How many times have you seen it, Sean? You remember?
Oh, probably at least a couple.
Yeah, I bet at least 100 for me or more, but I'm slowing down a little. So I wanted to show you this old thing here. We just found it when we were looking for some items pertaining to this. These are cassette tapes, which are also making a comeback. And reel-to-reel is really making a comeback. But these are just Mercury Theater radio performances. So still got a way to play them. So I'm glad we looked for some Orson Welles stuff. I missed it when we had lunch with him at Musso and Franks. Remember, we had that conversation about how wise it was for him to get a reverse mortgage. So anyway, he moved out here in 1941, and who did he bring with him? Agnes Moorhead. And of course, she was in some of the other movies that he had, Journey of Fear. I mean, they made a lot of films. But she was also in some others and had 3 nominations, Academy Award nominations. Magnificent Andersons, which was another Mercury Theater production. And, let me show you this. Remember this? We've been taking tours of video discs, of what we call laser discs. They are still very, very good. So there. And anyway, Emerson's is a whole nother story. You could do a whole show on Emerson, so we'll go on. Johnny Belinda, she got a Academy Award nomination for, and she did for Mrs. Parkington. She was also in Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, and almost better known by later anyway, or not as long ago, for TV work, such as Bewitched. Remember, she was the mother or whatever. And one of the most popular episodes of Twilight Zone, The Invaders. Now, Sean, do you remember that one? I know that you were just a babe when those. You weren't even born when they came out.
No, I don't think I remember that one.
She was, Agnes Moorhead was this older lady. Well, she always played a old lady, no matter how old she was. Out in the country, and this little bitty flying saucer came in with little people, and she was shooing them away with brooms, and it was pretty strong stuff. And then in the end, it turned out that the little people were the ones from Earth. I think a lot of people think it's one of the most bestest of all of those. And she died as a result of being part of a film called The Conqueror that was filmed in the St. George area. And she died, as many others did, from radioactive fallout from atmospheric atomic bomb tests. You know, where the government said everything is safe. So there was a total of 220 cast and crew members. And by the end of 1980, because this was like 1975, 91 of them had developed cancer and 46 had died. And amongst those who eventually died, if not sooner, John Wayne, Susan Hayward, Dick Powell, and, you know, God knows how many others. Got a client right now whose family was brought up in St. George, and a lot of them devastated by what had happened. So it's a pretty striking, if not terribly sad, situation that they were all put in just because of where they lived. Thomas Holtz was also born on this day, if I'm saying his name correctly, in 1953, now retired, but he played Mozart in the movie Amadeus in 1984, a movie that won 8 Academy Awards, including Best Movie, Best Actor. F. Murray Abraham, and what Abraham said in his acceptance speech was that Thomas Holtz should be on stage with him. So that was a pretty nice thing for him to say. Citizen Kane again, remember? I've got all kinds of versions, but I thought I'd bring up some history. This, as you might recall, is a video cassette. So if you don't know what one of these are, go and see The Ring. So there. So, and of course, the director also won an Academy Award, Milos Forman, who also did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Hair, Ragtime, and let me tell you quickly who auditioned okay, for that role that Thomas Hall won the role as Mozart. David Bowie, Mikhail Baryshnikov, Kenneth Branagh, Tim Curry, Mel Gibson, Mick Jagger, who I kind of think would have been kind of neat, and Mark Hamill wanted the role, but he wasn't even allowed to open his mouth for the audition. And that whole movie was lit with candles and natural light, just like Barry Lyndon, kind of, from Stanley Kubrick, who we talk quite a bit about. Also, Dave Brubeck, 1920, and he left us in 2012. So he won tons of awards, and also won admiration from everybody. But it also included a Lifetime Achievement Award, pianist, composer, and I think we all know probably the most popular, the one with Take Five and all that. It's pretty cool. I've got so many versions of this, including a couple of 45s, one 45 that has 4 12-inch records because it's only recorded on one side so that the bottom fits flat. That's another story. Lots of time changes in there. Kind of reminds me of Charlie Mingus. And Charlie Mingus just called and told us that it's time to take another break. So we'll take a real short one, and then we'll be back for just a bit. All right, is that an introduction? That's all right. Sean, let me ask you a question. Is the camera still correct?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Oh, okay, because my wife's showing me a weird... Anyway, on this day in history, because this is really a real interesting story, and I want to be a good storyteller. In 1758, the first edition of Encyclopedia Britannica was published in Scotland, and it was in print 244 years, sold door to door like Fuller Brush. So those and other companies like Helm's Bakery, which, Sean, I don't think you remember, were really the forefronters of the like of Amazon. So I told you in the introduction that Jeff Bezos was older than we think. So have you ever bought anything door to door, Sean?
No, can't say I have.
Yeah. So here's something that's really cool. Between 1914 and 1919, there was an encyclopedia company that added a gimmick for its door-to-door sales. And they were giving away what they thought would be, well, they were advertising it as a golden piece of California by offering a free slice of land, which the company thought was worthless, in Huntington Beach. So this slice of land was 110 feet by 25 feet, and they called them encyclopedia lots because they were lined up next to each other like a row of volumes or books. Those people that bought the encyclopedias, they got rich because it turned out to be very oil rich. And there's a I had never heard anything like that before, but there's a commemorative plaque on the corner of Brookhurst and Adams in front of Jersey Mike's. And they also gave away, and that plaque is still there. And they also gave away plots in Jersey also, but there was no oil, only sandwiches there. So I remember my mother used to go to Ralph's Market all the time and get these $1 encyclopedias that would come out once a week or once a month. I see them everywhere. Every time there's a bookshelf on a show on TV, there's one right there. In 1897 in London was the world's first licensed taxi cabs, and they were called hummingbirds. They were called hummingbirds because the sound they made were like hummingbirds. They were they were only electric vehicles. So there's Elon Musk's former self. And just to throw in one extra thing, Checker started in 1922. And you are listening to The Educated Retirement here on KMET. My phone number, one more time. No, let me give you the call-in phone number, okay? The call-in phone number, especially for this other friend, 951-922-3532. And want to let you know that we will be back very quickly, and then we'll have a great conversation with Tom.